Today, I'm going to talk to you about one of the biggest opportunities that North Americans are missing out on that could quite literally change their life. This is one of the most misinterpreted industries, the most misunderstood industries that exists in the world, and it's been around for over 65 years. And today, I'm going to give you the facts, the data, and the reasons why this industry is so misunderstood. And I'm going to give you the reason why I believe that this industry can quite literally help shift North America to help bring more success and more prosperity to the actual citizens within North America, the actual people within North America. Before we get into it though, what if I told you that there was an industry out there that in 2024 did over $200 billion? What if I told you that that industry was actually in the top three largest grossing industries in North America? What if I went as far to tell you that in 2024, over $80 billion in bonuses were paid out to entrepreneurs who participated in this industry? If I told you this, a lot of people would say, Zach, you are absolutely crazy. But what if I told you this was completely true? What if I went as far to tell you that in this industry, it has made more millionaires in North America than any other industry combined? You'd probably go even further to say, Zach, you're completely ridiculous. But what if I went even further to tell you that this opportunity is one of the lower risk to no risk businesses that you can be able to build up, where quite literally it only takes your time and effort to be able to build and succeed at something like this with next to no money? You'd be sitting here going, this sounds way too good to be true. But the crazy reality of this is this industry has existed for over 65 years. This industry is called network marketing or multi-level marketing. It is one of the most misinterpreted, misunderstood industries in the entire world because of a few reasons that I'm going to break into today. But network marketing started over 65 years ago by a company who literally did not have a marketing budget to be able to help build their business. So instead of going the normal route of hiring employees, they just said, let's just build a compensation plan that incentivizes private contractors to be able to go out there and be able to help us build our business, or instead of us keeping, because the average company will pay out typically any from 10 cents to 30 cents on every dollar that they generate, and 30 cents being to the highest producers inside their company when it comes down to sales. But instead, this company said, what if we paid out up to 60 cents on every dollar we generated, and we helped actually just partner up with contractors and build? And they created an industry that they didn't know would quite literally change the reality of a lot of people's lives by producing a new opportunity that gave people the chance to live the American dream. The crazy part about that, flash forward 65 years, it is one of the largest industries quite literally in all of North America. It's made more millionaires than any other industry in North America, but it still has become one of the most misunderstood industries. People will call it a pyramid scheme. People will call it a scam. But at the end of the day, it is one of the most equal opportunity businesses that you can get involved in. And here's the crazy part about it is it allows anyone, no matter what your background is, what your, skin color is, religion is, how much money you have in the bank, where you were born in the world. It gives everyone the same equal playing field to build up the American dream. So let's really go into this. Why do people call it a pyramid scheme? Why is that term so loosely thrown around in the 21st century? Well, here's a fact. No matter what you do, everything's a pyramid. You participate every single day in a pyramid, whether you like it or not. Every actual registered business is a pyramid. It has a hierarchy. It has upper level management. It has board of directors usually, or so CEO, upper level management, board of directors, whatever you want to call it, middle level management, lower level management, employees. No matter how you draw it, it is a pyramid. The person at the top makes the most amount of money. But why is that the case? Because at the top, within the capitalistic mentality and capitalism in general, so you have a general brief overview education on this, Someone has to incur the most amount of risk in the business in order to make the business run. Usually the CEO or the founder of the company has to incur debt to buy, the equipment, the machinery, get the facilities to operate out of. They're the ones that have had to invest the most amount of time in developing the systems, creating the relationships. They're the ones that take the most amount of risk in being able to build up the business. So they're the ones that naturally are going to incur the most amount of reward. Everyone else in between, you are only getting paid based on what the job is worth, not what your time is worth. Because I believe everyone who's listening to this video, you can make your time is worth as much as you want to based on the level of knowledge you have, the level of experience you have, and the level of results you have. The more that results that you have in your life outside of your job, the more that you can personally charge for your own time. For me right now, if you want me to be able to coach you or step into your business and help you, depending on what we're doing in your business, I will charge you a minimum of $500 an hour up to a couple $1,000s an hour, depending on what you're asking me to do inside your business. The minimal I'll charge is $500. Most people in Canada or the US right now are only making anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 a month. So when they hear that, they're like, wait, for 6 hours you can make as much as I am? Yes. But I've been in our industry for over 9 years. I've scaled multiple businesses outside of the industry that have gotten up to 50,000 within 3 to 4 months, that have gotten over 6 figures within the period of 6 months. I've built multiple different businesses in multiple different industries, and I have a very unique skill set. So when we really break into this, why is network marketing an equal opportunity? Well, in a traditional business, like I just mentioned, they pay anywhere from 10 cents to 30 cents on every dollar that you generate the company. If you're the bottom level of that pyramid I just talked about, you're probably only making 10 cents on every dollar that's generated. So how do we really break this down? Is in a traditional business, it's an unequal opportunity. Meaning you have management above you, people are always making more than you. So how do you make more money in an unequal opportunity? The person above you has to either die, get fired, quit, retire, or they get promoted. And if they get promoted, you're still below them, meaning you still make less than them. So in that case, what does that actually provide? It provides a very equal result in life. You drive similar cars. You might drive a Toyota. They might drive a Lexus. You live in similar neighborhoods. You have a similar amount of vacation time. You make similar money. You don't make crazy different amounts of money. They make $15,000 more than you. But again, taxes exist, so you probably make relatively close to each other. So when it really comes down to the big picture is, in an unequal opportunity, it provides a very equal result. However, network marketing is an equal opportunity and it provides an unequal result. So this is why network marketing, people want to call it a pyramid scheme, because they're like, well, the people at the top make the most amount of money. Here's the crazy part about it. I just told you at the beginning of this video, this industry has paid out over $80 billion in bonuses in 2024. So let's break this down. $4 billion of that $80 billion went to the top 3 network marketers. The top 3, $4 billion. So what does that leave us left with? $76 billion. The next $10 billion went to all of the 6-figure earners in the industry. $10 billion. So what does that leave us left with? $66 billion went to all of the new people in the industry or some of the smaller business owners who haven't hit 6 figures yet. So when it comes down to it, it's not a pyramid scheme. It is one of the most equal opportunity playing fields, because it doesn't care who you are. All it cares is that you're willing to put the work in. Most opportunities in network marketing only cost a couple $100s to get started and a couple $100s a month to be able to run. If you want to go into a traditional business, you're looking at $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, which now eliminates the ability for most Americans to be able to, North Americans, to be able to build anything in the entrepreneurial space. The risk is way too high for most people to be comfortable taking that risk on to develop success. But network marketing, it actually puts all of the risk of the business onto a bigger corporation where they retain up to 40% of the profits. And then they're willing in most cases to pay out 60% of the profits to you. So they incur the risk. All that your only risk is your time, your effort, and that's it. There's really no capital risk at the end of the day. The capital risk, if you view that maybe $2,000 to $3,000 a year to run a business is capital risk, you need to get your head out of your ass, because there is no other business in the entire world. I've made over 6 figures from my phone. Most people scroll on TikTok and scroll on Instagram and they get lost in the sauce. And they become more and more tight on finances, more and more set back. They blame it on the economy. They blame it on the fact their job doesn't pay them enough. They blame it on the fact that inflation's too high. They blame their entire circumstances on every other facet around them, like every other circumstance around them that shifts. They blame everything else but take responsibility and build something for themselves. So here's the cool part about network marketing: equal opportunity. Doesn't care who you are, where you're from, all that stuff. Doesn't care. All it cares about is the amount of work that you're willing to put in to be able to build up. All you're doing in most cases is selling a product, selling a service, or you're building a sales team to move that sales of that product. Again, if you help someone else develop six figures in this industry, most companies will pay you anywhere from a $10,000 to $30,000 bonus for helping someone else make six figures. So it makes sense. So equal opportunity. Doesn't matter where you fall in the structure. Yes, it's structured as a pyramid in your back office. Doesn't matter where you fall in the structure. I out-earn 20 people in between me and my next upline. My next mentor that I work with, 20 people, I out-earn all 20 of them. Why is that the case? Is because equal opportunity provides an unequal result. Some people have, Priuses in this business. Some people have Ferraris in this business. I have people that are in between me. They drive a Toyota Corolla. I drive an Audi S5. It all depends on how much work you're willing to put into this industry. It doesn't discriminate. It's based on the amount of results that you can bring in on paper. That's all it cares about. So when it really comes down to it is let's look at the risk to time exposure. Why do people hate this industry so much and want to call it a pyramid scheme? Is because it exposes lazy people. You can probably see in a sales career, whether it's maybe the brick furniture store, maybe you work at a car dealership, the lowest performers in these industries are still making money. They're the lazy people who just do the bare minimum to skate by. They've been at their jobs for 90 days. They can't just get fired for no reason. So they're the lower level of these businesses, and they maybe make $50,000, $60,000. They can skate by doing little to nothing. Whereas in this industry, doesn't pay you until you perform. It's entirely performance-based. So lazy people get exposed in this industry. The ones that come in and they talk a lot, and they move this more than they move these, their legs, and they actually start building the business. They move their mouth a lot. Those people get exposed in our industry, and that's why they hate what we do, because there are people that are good in sales at their everyday life because they get motivated by getting big checks quickly, and then eventually they die off, and that's it, and they'll make comfortably $80,000 a year. Whereas in here, you start at zero. Everyone starts at zero. Everyone has to build up. You hit $80,000, $90,000, $100,000. It's not because you went and produced a bunch of results. It's because you went and helped a bunch of other people together produce results at the same time that you produced results. So that's the whole thing. You had to put a lot of time into duplicating your efforts through a team, but also you had to go produce results outside of them to be able to make it an equal opportunity playing field. And that's why those people don't like this. They want to get paid right out the gate. They want that instant gratification. So they would rather call our industry a pyramid scheme than put the effort into our industry itself. And that's the wild part about our industry, and that's why I love it, is because I've always come in here, I've always talked the talk, walked the walk. One of my old mentors in the industry said, talk's cheap. He says, action's everything. He says, a lot of people, he says, I've met have come into this industry, and he says, they've talked, and he said, they never back it up with any work ethic. And he says, and then, 6 months, 7 months later, he says, they fizzle out of the industry and they start talking shit. He says, meanwhile, he says, they're the ones that ruined their reputation in our industry, and everyone sat here and goes, well, we thought you were going to do this, we thought you were going to do that. And it's they burned their reputation in the industry because they were a big talker because of what they were used to doing, but they weren't familiar with an industry that takes a little bit different of work ethic. So when it really comes down to it, you have to be willing to put a lot of effort in this industry. If you aren't willing to put effort in this industry might not be for you. If you are willing to put effort in this industry will be one of the most rewarding industries long term. It is said that most people will hit 6 or 7 figures by their 5th year. Most people, again, if you stay tried, true, you keep your head down, you put the work ethic in. Listen, there are going to be idiots out there. They're going to say ignorant things about your business because they don't understand your business. There are going to be people who say they support you that go, backstab you. It happens. There are going to be people out there that are going to say that they are going to support you when you get in business, and then they don't. That's normal. Don't get put down. Don't get discouraged. Don't get, thrown off the beaten track. Don't quit on a bad day. Okay, these days are going to happen. but you need to keep your head down and you need to put in the grind, because entrepreneurship is not easy, but I will tell you the results that you can get from it are worth it. So the question becomes, how big is your dream? What's the result that you want in life? What's the lifestyle that you want in life? I'm not asking you what you want to do. I'm asking you the result of what you want to what you want out of life. Do you want a nice house, a mansion? Do you want a nice car that's not a Toyota Corolla, that's not a, Lexus? Do you want an Audi R8? Do you want these really nice upper echelon vehicles? Do you want to be able to travel whenever you want? Do you want financial freedom? The question is, in exchange, what are you willing to give to be able to succeed in this industry? The next question that I'll ask you, how much money do you want to make per year? Because here's a perspective I was offered when I was younger. 19 years old, I will value this perspective till the end of the world and back. My mentor said to me, he's like, how much would you want to make a year? And I was like, $1 million. He goes, okay, based on right now, how much you earn? He says, how much do you earn a year? I said, $46,000. The one thing that he said to me was, everyone says to him, he goes, well, you just want to get something out of me in this industry. He says, Zach, he says, no disrespect. He says, you make $46,000 a year. He says, what do I want from you? He says, I don't want your job. I don't want to make $46,000 a year. He says, I make triple that right now. He says, passively, outside of me running 2 other businesses that make me over 7 figures. He goes, I don't want your job. He goes, you have any debt? At the time, I did have vehicle debt. He says, I don't want your debt. He goes, there's nothing that you have right now that I currently want. And that put me on an equal perspective of like, wow, this guy's actually here to help me out. But then he says, let me give you a perspective on this. He says, what's $1 million subtract $46,000? And I was like, $954,000. And he goes, so every single year that you don't take action, you're losing $954,000 a year. So he says, what are you going to do this year to make that additional $954,000 a year in your business? That set my entire perspective that it has nothing to do with what anyone else thinks about what I do. It has everything to do with my mental economy, what I think about myself, what I think about my business, and what I do every single day to produce for my business. So the question becomes, how much money do you want to make per year? And how much money are you losing as a result of not building up towards that? Thank you for listening to this video. Hope you got some good information off of it, and I look forward to seeing you on some other training videos.